Hello and welcome to FruitFinder. This is our CS467 Capstone project. I'm Robert McPherson, and together with my teammates Alex, Stefan, and Tao, we would love to demonstrate what we've created for you. Our project was called FruitFinder. You can easily find fruits in your neighborhood. This is a mobile-friendly web application that allows users to seamlessly create and view the fruit trees not only in their neighborhood, but as you'll see, around the world. Users are able to use our maps in our database to find and explore all of the fruit trees around them. They'll also be able to add, edit, and delete these tree locations. Users can also write reviews on their and others' trees, making this a social experience for all of our foragers. Now from here, I'll go ahead and hand things over to Tao. She will demonstrate her part in the process first. I'll join back up with you at the end. Enjoy!
Hello, I am Tao Thomas. I will demo the user login, the interactive fruit map, adding a new fruit location, and showing how this web app is mobile friendly. Let's launch the app. I've launched FruitFinder and it's asking me to sign in with Auth0. Auth0 will simplify authentication and allow easy sign in, meaning that I can sign in with a trusted existing account already. Let's continue with GitHub account. At the upper right corner, there's my username and user profile image. Now for the fruit map, map box is chosen for easy integration. Here in the center, this blue marker is my location, and the fruit sources around me are shown as fruit icons. I can also see this map in satellite view here at the bottom right corner. I can also drag, zoom on the map, and here at the bottom left corner, there's a quick reset button. Now to add a fruit, I'm also presented with this map with my location there, and I can look for the precise location of the fruit that I want to add. Let's say I want to add an avocado, and I will make some notes about this avocado, and this is the location of this fruit. Here on the desktop, to add a photo, I can upload one. And if I were on my mobile device, the device's camera will launch, and I can take a picture to add, and I will add. And there is the avocado that I just added. As for a mobile-friendly feature, here are screenshots from my mobile phone. I can see FruitFinder app open full screen instead of inside of a web browser. I can see that the buttons down here, only icons show and the labels are hidden on a small screen. And this is what add in the middle, what add looks like, adding a fruit looks like on a cell phone. And also on my mobile phone home screen, I can see the app logo and the app name. Looks just like a native app. And in summary, I learned a lot of new technology with this project, and it's a major challenge to understand and how to integrate all the parts. It requires a lot of research, experimentation, and I've also had to seek out mentoring. And that concludes my demo. I'm Tao Thomas. Thank you.
All right, my name is Alex Marino, and I'm going to go ahead and start off by demonstrating the features that I worked on for our project. So I'll switch over to our app here, and the first thing I was in charge of creating was our homepage, which you can see I just went with a really simple hero style landing page. And if you scroll down, you'll see these boxes here. These tiles I created for users who might be new to the application, gives them a really high level overview of how they can get started. I built these using Next.js and Daisy UI. Now I'll go to the next feature here, and we'll just give it a second to load. So now if I click into a tree, let's take this lemon tree, for example. I was in charge of creating the reviews for trees. So you can see here there's a bunch of reviews that got left on this lemon tree. Right now it's just me. Obviously that would change as more people use our application. So the reviews display there. I can also write a review, the great lemon tree. And I can select the stars to give it any amount of star rating that I want. Additionally, I can search by city or state. So let's say I'm visiting Seattle next week and I want to see what trees there are in Seattle. It'll take me across the country, and you can see there's a couple of trees here. If I click into one, again, you can see the review functionality. And additionally, I added this fruit filter. So let's say I only want to see cherry trees in the Seattle area. So filter, you can see those trees go away, and now we're left with the UW cherry trees. I'm going to switch back to the presentation here and talk about some challenges, some deviations, and takeaways. A couple of deviations that I had from my original intentions were searching. So I tried using the built-in Mapbox search functionality originally, and unfortunately that just didn't work for our implementation and our design. But I pivoted and ultimately ended up developing our own search filter using the Searchbox API. Similarly, on the homepage, we wanted to originally allow users to search directly from there, but it would have required that we use dynamic URLs, and the way our authentication architecture was set up, it would have had to be totally redesigned. So unfortunately, that just didn't work out as we planned, which leads me to the key takeaway from this project is really just be flexible, whether it's a school project or it's your career or anything in your life. Just do your best to be flexible and pivot.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. I'm up next. My name is Stefan Aperotesi, and I'll briefly go into my portions of the project and what I worked on. So here's a brief list of the things that I mainly focused on, but I think it makes more sense to just go ahead and show them. First things first, the first thing that I tackled was our backend schema and routes for fruit tree locations, your standard CRUD operations, getting all that stuff set up so that we could add data and view it. After that, I worked on this little sliding side panel that comes out when you when you choose a fruit. Now that we had data, I wanted to see it represented. And I mostly worked on this overview section here. And then after that, while we're still on the side panel, I added this edit and delete functionality. I worked on that, if and only if it's your fruit. So this avocado down here, for instance, this is not my fruit. But this one was one that I created, so I have edit and delete functionality. I can change this. Blue sky, edit, and then it's up to date. And then we can also delete a tree, like so, and it's gone. And then I also worked on our images for fruit tree locations. I used Amazon S3 for that, to host our images and store the slug in the database so that they can be pulled later. So for instance, this avocado has a custom image uploaded. And then finally, I worked on our profile page a bit more. Initially, it only had reviews, but I updated it so that it also had fruit trees. Any fruit trees that you've created will appear here, and you can hop to them on the map like that. So, real quick, let me talk about some challenges, deviations, and takeaways. For challenges, I want to name just the usual things that go into working on software with a group of people. Keeping your env files up to date and in sync with everybody else, especially across production. and also things like merge conflicts, and yeah, just keeping everybody's code up to date and up to the same sort of standards is always a challenge. But we pretty quickly found strategies to manage that. Slight deviation early on, we decided to reroute a large portion of the backend to work better with Next.js's route handlers. And so I was heavily involved with that. Finally, my main takeaway from this whole project has been communication, communication, communication. And this comes down to things like pull requests, um, making those good and really putting thought and time into them, calling out any bugs as you see them, making sure that people have up-to-date environment variables. All of that will go into just making things so much smoother in the long run. So, yeah, thank you very much, and I'll hand it off from here.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefan. All right, now, so lastly, I'll go ahead and discuss my part of the project. This is Rob once again. So the parts that I helped develop here were the profile page, the nav bar, the routing, as well as linking the reviews back to our map. And the technologies I used for this were the Next.js, Daisy UI, and the Tailwind. The reason we use those three, Daisy UI implements really well with Next.js to create simple buttons that have very nice UX UI, and Tailwind makes styling those components and those buttons very, very easy with CSS. The steps in developing these processes were discussing with our group, planning the UI, and then getting into the development. The original plan, one of the little deviations we had was linking reviews from the creation of the profiles. That kind of grew organically out of our meetings and kind of understanding what users might want. So that was a slight change. And the biggest challenges were just unfamiliar technologies, not really having worked with TypeScript before, and then working on others' code, like having a larger code base like this where we're constantly doing pull requests, changing things, and then kind of learning how to not break others' things when you're working on these larger projects. And part of that was just learning teamwork, getting really good at working with others and reading the documentation, kind of understanding from the official sources how things work. These are great skills to have and take with you going forward. So then I can take us on over to the application here and show you some of the stuff that I worked on. So first off, we have the nav bar up here. Nav bar's got some nice UI there, highlights when it goes over things. We have our little logo and our name up top. This will just take you right back to the home page. This will link you around. This is actually a dynamic render as well, so if you're not logged in, this will show you some different options to get you logged in or get you to create a profile page. If you go to your profile page, then you can go on over to your reviews, and you'll see the reviews. This is the other part that I worked on here for the profile. It'll have your name, and then it'll show you all the reviews that you've written for all the trees that you've created, or not created, just trees that you reviewed. And then if you want to link back to the map, we've got this routing in effect as well. This will take you right back to it. Just like that, right back to the map. Those are my contributions, and it's been a pleasure to work with this team. It's been a wonderful project, a wonderful process, and I wish everybody the best going forward. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see y'all in the future.